For years, Victoria Beckham was the queen of silence, the woman who built an empire on class, control, and that perfectly calm face. From being a Spice Girl to a global fashion icon, she never let the world see her lose composure. While tabloids screamed with wild rumors, she simply smiled, never confirming, never denying. But one night in London, everything changed. It was supposed to be a glamorous evening, chandeliers, glittering, cameras flashing, the rich and royal sipping champagne in diamond gowns. Victoria Beckham stood on stage, poised like always, presenting an award to a young criminalist, a designer. But then, mid-speech, something shifted. Her voice hardened. Her expression froze. She pressed her hand on the podium and looked straight at a journalist sitting in the crowd. And then she said it. 7 words that made the entire room gasp. I kept quiet too long. People need to know what she did. The audience froze. You could hear the sound of cameras stop clicking. No one needed her to say the name. Everyone knew exactly who she was. Meghan Markle. Within minutes, someone's shaky phone video of that moment hit the internet. Just 11 seconds long, but by morning, it had over 4 million views. Comment sections blew up. Victoria Beckham just broke Meghan Markle's perfect PR bubble, one user wrote. Another said, "This is the classiest takedown I've ever seen." Victoria, the woman known for quiet grace, had finally spoken, and that single line, simple, sharp, and honest, felt like the start of something huge. This wasn't a petty feud. It was the story of friendship, betrayal, and silence that had lasted far longer than anyone imagined. When Meghan Markle first stepped into the royal spotlight, one of the very first people to welcome her into Britain's glittering high society was, yes, Victoria Beckham herself. Meghan was the new Duchess in town, a Hollywood actress trying to navigate royal traditions. And Victoria? She knew how brutal the British press could be. So she did something incredibly kind. She reached out personally. She sent Meghan her private contact list, elite stylists, discreet PR agents, even her personal spa experts who worked with A-list names. Victoria wanted Meghan to have support, to feel protected. Soon, the two women were spotted laughing together at Wimbledon, whispering like close friends while cameras captured their every smile. Victoria even sent pieces from her fashion line straight to Kensington Palace for Meghan's fittings. People in the fashion world were stunned Victoria didn't need to do this. She did it because she wanted Meghan to succeed. For a while, it looked like a perfect friendship. The Hollywood Duchess and the British fashion queen, elegant, united, unstoppable. Meghan praised Victoria's designs publicly. Victoria's team celebrated the royal approval quietly. Everything seemed ideal, mutual respect, shared glamour, and genuine trust. But behind that polished surface, cracks were already forming. By late 2019, whispers started floating around London. Someone had been leaking Meghan's private details to the press, information that only her tight inner circle would know. No names were mentioned at first, but as speculation grew, one name began surfacing again and again. Victoria Beckham. At first, it sounded absurd. Victoria had spent decades protecting her own privacy. Why would she ever risk it? But to Meghan, the betrayal felt personal. Sources say she quietly began cutting people off. No confrontation, no warning, just distance. And suddenly, Victoria found herself frozen out. Invitations to royal events disappeared. Texts were left unanswered. The woman who had opened her world to Meghan was now being treated like an outsider. By the time Meghan and Harry officially left royal duties, the Beckhams were completely gone from their circle. No more photo ops. No more dinners. Just silence. That cold, heavy kind of silence that only broken trust leaves behind. For years, neither woman said a word. Tabloids speculated, fans guessed, but both stayed publicly polite. Victoria focused on her fashion empire. Meghan built her new California life. And it seemed this icy distance would remain buried forever until that night. The night Victoria looked straight into those cameras and decided enough was enough. She wasn't protecting the wrong person anymore, and that's when the charity scandal exploded. Victoria had been working for months on a children's hospital fundraiser, a cause deeply personal to her. It was meant to be her biggest philanthropic project yet. Meghan was supposed to co-host the event, bringing royal attention to raise millions. But just weeks before the gala, something shocking happened. According to insiders, Meghan told the organizers that Victoria's brand didn't align with the royal image. Soon, an email leaked online, allegedly from one of Meghan's aides, saying, "Per Duchess's request, please consider alternative fashion sponsorship." Concerns have been raised about brand alignment and external press narratives. Within days, Victoria's name vanished from the posters. Her months of planning, her donated designs, her early financial contributions, all erased without a thank you, without a warning. A friend close to Victoria told the press she was humiliated. She gave her time and her name for free and was told she wasn't royal enough to stand beside a duchess. That was the breaking point. The betrayal was no longer private, it was cruel. When Victoria finally said, "I kept quiet too long," the internet knew this wasn't about one snub. It was years of patience, snapping in a single sentence. And then came David Beckham's post. The very next day, he uploaded a simple family photo, him, Victoria, and their kids laughing around a dinner table. The caption? "Truth always comes out in the end. No hashtags. No names. Just quiet, loaded truth." Celebrities immediately caught the message. One supermodel friend of Victoria's commented with 3 heart emojis. A designer reposted it with the words, "Some people mistake kindness for weakness." And Meghan's powerful friends? Total silence. Oprah, silent. Serena Williams, silent. Even Prince Harry said, nothing. Paparazzi caught him looking down at an airport, jaw tight, refusing to answer questions. That silence said everything. Because for years, Meghan had been seen as untouchable, the woman who stood against the royal institution, the brave duchess who told her truth. But now, that silence looked different. Each hour she stayed quiet, Victoria looked stronger and Meghan looked guiltier. A fashion editor summed it up perfectly. Victoria Beckham has built her life on elegance and control. If she's finally speaking, something must have broken her. This wasn't about clout or publicity. This was personal. It was heartbreak disguised as dignity. Friendship turned betrayal. Trust turned humiliation. And Victoria didn't even need to say Meghan's name. The message was already clear. You can only protect the wrong person for so long. Then came the biggest shock yet. One late night, a mysterious 14-second audio clip surfaced online. In it, a calm but sharp female voice said, "She's lucky I don't say what I know about her. No names, no context." But the uploader claimed it was Meghan Markle and that she was talking about Victoria Beckham. Within hours, the internet went up in flames. The clip gained over 6 million views overnight. Some said it was fake, others swore it was real. Even Meghan's most loyal defenders didn't know what to say. One fan page deleted their pinned post supporting her and replaced it with one chilling sentence. "If that audio is real, I don't know what to say anymore." Victoria didn't respond publicly. She didn't deny it. She didn't shade Meghan. But someone close to her quietly told reporters she's disappointed but not surprised. Those 3 words, "but not surprised," hit harder than any headline. They painted a picture of a six to be co's and of not of the more and distays and placed our and beevely to the mormont woman who'd already seen the worst and chosen silence over spectacle. Then came the whisper that made every tabloid explode. Victoria Beckham was reportedly considering a full sit-down interview. Not a speech, not a cryptic post, a real, raw conversation. Her first ever, directly addressing Meghan Markle. One insider claimed, "She feels people only know half the story. She's ready to tell the rest." That alone was enough to send Meghan's PR team into full-blown crisis mode. Rumors said there were emergency calls, frantic meetings, even discussions of legal action, all before Victoria said a single new word. But it was too late. The narrative had already shifted. Victoria, once silent, now looked like the dignified truth teller. Meghan, once untouchable, was suddenly the one everyone questioned. And then came David Beckham's now iconic line, "Truth always comes out in the end." Those words became prophecy, because the truth wasn't being whispered in gossip columns anymore. It was coming straight from the woman who had stayed quiet through decades of fame, scrutiny, and royal politics until someone pushed her too far. By the end of the week, the story wasn't just about 2 women. It was about trust, silence, and the price of betrayal. Fans flooded Victoria's Instagram with love. "Proud of you for speaking your truth. Real class never needs a microphone." Victoria didn't respond to any of them. She didn't have to. Her silence was the message. And when a reporter finally asked her why she broke her silence after all these years, she simply said, "I stayed quiet because I thought it would protect everyone." But all it did was protect the wrong person. That line became the headline everywhere. It was simple. It was powerful. It was final. Meanwhile, Meghan's camp remained dead silent. No denial, no explanation, not even a no comment. And with every passing day, Victoria's version began to feel like the truth. Because sometimes you don't need to shout your truth to make people believe it. You just have to stand tall, say one sentence, and let the world finally see who you were protecting all along.